With the way the Esports World Cup playoffs bracket was set up, everyone was anticipating a Spoit versus Stomp in Grand Finals. But Spoit didn't make it to Grand Finals. And the way in which Spoit lost is probably one of the most tragic ways you could possibly lose a pro game of Siege ever. So going into the quarterfinals match versus Space Station Gaming, Space Station Gaming won the first map of Clubhouse. Now we're playing on Chalet, which is series point if Space Station win, which they eventually end up doing. So we're gonna watch it live, we're gonna break it down. This is the first time I'll be seeing these rounds, so I will be discovering this with you, but I have the ability to pause and play and figure out the strats. And as you can see already, we're doing a master hold starting off with Shopify. They're going to do a anti-solar mirror with the with the castle protecting it. I will show you exactly what this setup does. So this is going to be a common strat that you see run by a lot of pro teams. This is an anti-solar mirror. Basically, you hold down this little like short hallway right here, you put down a mirror on this wall, you can play tucked on here, not exposed from big window on it, and as a result you can deny basically both the solar window repelsion and the solar stairs walk up, which is indicative of a solar take, which is what, you know, most teams do. For that reason, this hold kind of gives up a lot of ground on the solar side of the map. So teams that don't extend out library, you will get crunched, right? Because imagine an attacker just walks in library side, walks up solar, and now all your team is crunched in this like little sandwich between the sites. So that is exactly why you'll be seeing Shopify Rebellion also extend out to library with Ambi and Surf and Wrexham playing kind of that like aggressive position in office, holding angles on the library. So it does look like SSG. If you see their operator lineup right now, they have the Capitao and they have, you know, J9 on the big window area playing far away on the cuts. They are going for a solar take against the anti-solar mirror with Benjamin Master solo lurking on the opposite side of the map being counter pressure. And now they have Blackbeard and Capitao playing on Solar Repel. They just want to burn out and break the player on Solar Staircase or even Owl. This position right here, which is Owl, is very crucial for ensuring you want to hold down the Solar side of the map. So if you maintain Owl control, as I'm sure you guys can guess, you can basically also deny the window repels, which is also why on a lot of like defenses or attacks for solar takes, you see a player repelled on this opposite balcony really far away, holding down this cross bathroom, because it literally just stares at this owl door and it prevents a defender from, you know, getting in and out of the spot, or it just, you know, is a bit of an info kind of position to hold that down. So that's where Surf is. Two reinforced walls on closet to protect that mirror on the anti-solar mirror being broken down. Castle immediately gets broken off, and now we know essentially like what the two setups are, right? Benjamin Master is playing the lurk on the counter pressure, waiting for any moment to hop in. SR playing anti-solar strat. They have holes. Remember, they have like these holes top on the office wall. You usually don't see this happen because you usually get it reinforced and ranked, but this is now an aggressive position that you can hold onto library side. Yeah, so these library holes, not very traditional, but like from these holes, remember, if you make, or sorry, not library, office holes, you can see through your library feet holes that you made early in the round, which if you have a player top mez, right, playing on this wall, which Ambi was, I'm assuming, you can hold their push up to that wall and like support them from far away. In a similar aspect, because they're extending so hard library and giving up so much ground solar early, this allows defenders to be still useful by, like, you know, being able to retake sight through these holes. Like if you have an angle on the master door from here, then, you know, you can still have it from having library control. You do have to watch out for the lurker, of course, and Benjamin Master, because obviously being on K9 is going to get you killed off that, but you know, that's the strategical setup of the round, right? And this is why I like doing VOD reviews so much, and I hope that you guys like this type of format too. I do want you guys to comment below whether or not you like this kind of like the last map of the series, the determining map of the series. Oh, there you go, there you go. Literally a perfect example I'm talking about with the cut and bathroom side. They fired that guy out with a Capitao. They killed him from the slant roof. Right, it's just a perfect example of like how that position ends up working out, and this castle on this piano window ends up helping out SSG because it doesn't let this player die. But yeah, let me know if you like seeing the full series or just the last map. I think for YouTube, last map is better, or the most important map, or the most eventful map. But we'll just see. Let me know in the comments down below in the YouTube at least which one do you guys like more. But yeah, so basically the fire comes through, Surf tries to sprint past the player on this cut, just like I said for the solar take, not going to work out. It's going to be him on the Cali, and this is why the Cali is so impactful. You don't usually see it in rank, but Cali is really good for breaking Azami's. Now Azami's not up, but in case it was up, it's really powerful for closing off the windows. Like I'm sure SR has a strat where they close off that bathroom window with the Azami while he runs away, but they just don't have it this time. So they're going to go ahead and break open that window, kill the guy, and he can use the Kali now to break out the castles, the Miras, and the Azamis, right? That's triple value out of one operator. Okay, so Benja Master now, he's going to go for an immediate Lurky pick, and that's going to open up the split pressure of the round. This is super important for SSG and their playstyle, and you know, SR shutting it down is actually really, really powerful for them, and that's why you have library side pressure, right? You have Rexen playing close over here on K9 door, and be walking up to power this guy, and that essentially makes it you don't have to worry about both sides anymore, because essentially, the moment that Lurk makes contact, it's counter pressure, it comes from opposite sides of the map, that's when you have to worry about where people can come from what. And it's good by SSG. You see this a lot, that they use the pressure, the push and pull. They'll pull attention to, they'll pull, you know, Shopify Rebellion's eyes to the master side of the map, while they'll entry into the other side. So Ashen gets into the site now, and J9 gets in the bathroom window, and here comes basically the flurry of flood into sight. Fenders are doing wonders for Shopify, though, and I wouldn't be surprised to see on round 3 SSG ban a Fender bin, because I think this is the biggest detriment to their pushes right now. Canadian gets into claws to spot a really good wrap position, especially with the double reinforced walls. To like throw a wrench in the solar take now. Canadian ends up going down 2v3. Ashen is planning on fucking master window now, and there's not any util to deny the plant besides it's like Conan to push through. So it's all up to J9 to essentially hold it, and Ashen to keep baiting a plant to bait out the crosses. Now here's the thing about SR, you'll see this a lot in this video, is that SR on the retake, they're very slow. They like to wait until like the last second until everyone's together in order to retake, and that's something you see even in their games in the NAL. That might sometimes be a detriment to them, but we'll see if it works out for them. Plant does go down, Ashen goes down, but now you see they're all triple swinging together. J9 gets a triple kill though, but he eventually goes down because SR perfect refrag on the retake, because they waited very long for them to play it together. They have super solid fundamentals on that. SR take round 1. Next we go to Bar. I don't know what strat they're going to run yet, but I'm assuming they're going to run the retake strat from the lineup that I'm seeing. So typically you see players playing triple burn. Like what you usually see is you see players playing the triple burn strategy. That's what EU does, at least Secret and G2 combine both do this strat. Even Furia from you know, for Brazil, right? So you'll see people play these positions, box and library corner are interchangeable, and because the vert control over the site hopping window is so incredibly important, playing in library corner has that control, but it's also one of the most common attacker kill positions by burning onto this position. So by bringing the Jaeger, the Wamai, and the Aruni, that's why you see triple burn. That's what people usually do. Now what SR is doing here is kind of completely different. They're actually going to reinforce both the hatches, so very, very, very unorthodox. And this is pretty common strat, at least in NA. I've seen Dark Zero used to do this before. They're going to reinforce with the hatches and then make holes all across that library wall. And then from those same office holes I showed you in the first round, it allows us so that from office control, you can basically hold library and making it a kill box, right? So it makes it that you don't have to give your life from library. You can play master side extension and short side extension and lobby extension, and hopefully from opposite over control, you can kind of control down the library side of the map. So just by holding office, you're going to probably reinforce these two walls or have a full roam on this side, use this opposite control to kind of pressure out library, and then on the lower floor, they're going to have, because they have vert over the guy in dining now, the enemy can't just recklessly push through and get a freebie on this guy. This guy has holes onto the dining wall, which he can stop the lobby walks, and he can, like, you know, help out from short. This push is very susceptible to a site isolation where you open up the stock wall from underneath, from the basement, and then you go for the library window plant, because there is no player starting library corner, and it's not a well-supported position, so that's going to be that. Spoit's going to go for a wall bang spawn peak, so this is actually, if you want to put this in your rank games, it's a super safe spawn peak with a pretty high percentage success rate if your enemies are getting out of spawn really fast. So wall banging these trees, if there are enemies coming outside of the front door spawn, this will get a couple kills. As you can see, Fultz, like, if it was just like 1 second, a little bit different on the timing, he might have died there and gotten headshotted straight up from that spawn peak, right? We saw Ashen going for something similar on a different day, so if that's something you want to add into your ranked games immediately, that's a good one. That's a banger one.
Will Newers be able to find?
You think Secret isn't being given enough attention on G2's win yesterday? Oh, absolutely not.
For being able
absolutely not, bro. Secret played out of their minds, and people are like, G2 side, G2 side. Like, I hate that thing about Siege. It's like every single time a team loses, it's them being ass and never the other team playing good. But oh well.
So if he can find an opening, then the rest
makes
of the team
esports seem a little unserious.
Around those
seems like all the pros are bad. You know what I'm saying?
Currently,
so SSG are going to go for a solar over clear. So typically to counter
Interestingly
this
from
strat,
SSG,
because like
nobody
all the
actually
roam
actively
is
on
over
drones at
here,
the
to go
moment.
direct onto the library side of the map, but they're actually going to go for this master side of the map.
2 minutes to go.
So they're going to use a guy on trophy window to
be
cut off this player on the solar stairs, right? So typically, if you're doing a solar take, right, and you want to entry through these solar windows, the biggest threat to you is a guy, you know, coming up and flanking at this perfect time. That's why you have the trophy player. Trophy player cuts off solar stairs, and for that reason, it also kind of traps Ambi on this position early. So now that they droned out that there's a player at solar stairs, Ambi can't really get out of here. Well, he kind of can, actually. That's maybe why he's on Oryx, so that he can start out here and immediately run away. And you can see Spoit, and, you know, they're ready to support this Ambi player on the stairs, right? They're ready to come down below, make sure no one can entry from below on him, no one can get any kills. Ambi got the first kill onto Foltz repelling in. Serve type's low, because I'm assuming that was just an insane injury for Foltz to go through, to go for the flash repellent entry on Ambi. Pretty impatient out of SSG, but really gets set up by SR. Basically, just SSG clearing straight into their roam, and then Ambi just like dashes out, and you know, Spoit was ready to support anyways. Like if they killed Ambi, I'm sure Spoit would have refragged the guy. But they eventually get out. They get out through the basement, right? Because you never know where the cuts are coming from. Like there could be a guy front door holding that curve cut back to site. So the safer bet is to go through basement. I don't know what happened on the other side of the map.
Look a little bit more lively on the defense here on Chalet.
They even had, I mean, their basement. They had a basement set up so robust. They had a Melusi in the basement. So.
And this is the
that's the thing for sure. Like they had this roam fully thought out. Like if in case there was also a guy to come up from West Main or the basement to like lurk up on Ambi playing in the dining position, or Spoit playing in the dining position, there was a guy in the basement. Like there was a fucking Muto in the basement ready to fucking notify them of that.
To crack, though.
Now it's just a 4v2, and like SR just need to hold the crosses.
Mines as well.
And SSG just have to go for desperation.
They can play the flank.
It takes a big throw to lose this one for Shopify.
Yeah.
So it's pushed down towards the game.
Crossfire on every account. Now this is probably like not that bad of a crossfire break, but there's a player on blue stairs. Really good bait. Really good bait by SSG right there. You'll notice what happens is like the Newers probably knew there was a guy blue stairs, so what he's telling J9 I was like, yo, shoot at this guy inside for me. J9 knows he's not gonna be able to fucking get anything off of it, but making the audio for his boy causes this guy to walk up and take the gunfight, which co-ops the loving entrepreneurs. This is also a thing that ranked duos don't do as often in ranked, that I see people could do more. You guys can take into your game is like shoot for me, shoot for me, shoot for me, distract for me, make soft pressure for me, because it draws out enemy responses, right? If you guys both just like wait for your kill, you guys will both take, you know, uncontested, you know, random ones, when you can work together to be like, okay, shoot at this guy for me, make him look away from me, I could take the backstab on this guy and swing off your shooting.
On his flank.
Good isolation on that pick, and now this is a lot more winnable round because the other guy is on main stairs, so there really is only 2 players on site, one of them being in front of the game's window itself. But I mean, still pretty hard for SSG to win this, especially with the low time.
Still time here for SSG.
Newers gets the bar entry, gets the player in. Oh no, team kill for J9. So that was actually super tragic, because like that was looking hella winnable for SSG.
Bozo takes his teammate out. It would have been a 2v2. Well, can he salvage this and clutch up? A lot more difficult now, though, without his teammate that he himself took out of the round.
And he's prone. Really good fundamentals from Shopify. The way they're playing it is they're not playing the tightest refrag crossfire, but they're playing these 1-1-1-1 positions that are all super powerful, that all can win the round by itself, and they're all playing to stay alive on their own position as long as possible. Right, they're all playing a super ready angle, so that SSG has to clear out each and every one of those angles, and with low time, it's not likely. So there's basically 2 schools of thought when playing like the late round. Right, it's like you play perfect refrag, so when you aggress together, you can play aggro refrag, passive refrag, but perfect refrag don't allow, so you either swing it all together like Furia does, you all run at the last guy, but you 3-2-1 it together so he has no chance, or you play perfect passive refrag where, oh, swing off my contact, I have this angle, the moment he makes noise, and then he swings out and shoots. And there's the other school of thought where it's like when there's low time on the board, we can all play our individual positions, but because there's so little time, if all of us play like rats, and the enemy team has to clear out each of our own individual positions, then they'll end up using the event all of the round's time, you know, to win, right? Which they will eventually lose because of it. So that's kind of what like Shopify school of thought there was, and also like that's how FaZe Clan play their late round. Is like when they have huge win advantages, they'll actually play like everyone on just a powerful spot. Everyone plays super hard to kill on a powerful spot, and then eventually the enemy will just run out of time. They won't be able to clear out each individual position, especially on low time. Your voice is really drowned out by the mainstream, and it's hard. Oh, word. Is that bad?
Opportunity.
Immediate pick by Newers. This is actually an angle I like to contest in rank sometimes, like prone. I actually like to go prone on the right side of this to get that angle. But because top mez is such a powerful position, it's such a common position, it holds down so much. It is literally the heart and soul of every library extension. Newers goes for a pre-fire, gets immediate kill on the Spoit from it. You ram the front door, and like you immediately get vert down into sight, right? Like I'm sure you guys all know this from ranks. So that ram is very typical for a setup. Newers just goes for a peek of it. So it's not like it's unexpected. It's not like he wasted util. He rams front door, immediately goes for a pick top mez, and bing bang boom, it works out for him. Yeah, so obviously everyone knows the main breach. The lobby take revolves around, you know, this front breach of the map, right? So basically everyone knows this main breach. Everyone knows the plant spots on the main breach. Biggest issue with the main breach, this plant spot, you can get shot from connector because your booty sticks out. You used to be able to just get wallbang from connector, which was why the shelf plant was actually more powerful, but once again also vulnerable to connector. To take connector, you have to have lobby control. But what do the defenders need to do to hold down lobby control? Well, they need to have library control, because having library control means that you can basically oversee over all of lobby, right? Like, can you imagine being a defender trying to hold down lobby or trying to hold down, you know, games to deny this hatch, and then the enemy just makes like vert above you because they have library control? So the defenders need to hold library down themselves. That's exactly why they're doing this. The other way to hold this site is to not really hold library, but have kind of like the threat of a flank from dining side, and the threat of a flank from dining side having these holes here and having west main control so you can walk up the back staircase over here kind of makes it so that, like, okay, the whole time the attackers are kind of scared to get that hatch, because the moment Thermite goes for it, you know, he just gets shot, which is why it's actually better to bring Hibana or Ace for opening that hatch using that rain hard breach. That's why Fultz is on Hibana, right? And then you have the ramp to open up the lobby floor. So now you see SSG going for that library control I'm talking about earlier. The Nomad's going to be... Or there's no Nomads. Never mind. I'm fucking stupid. Drone's coming in. Top 4 on this side. Benjamaster once again on the lurk. So Benjamaster's been huge this event and in the NAL for playing that lurk position so incredibly well for SSG. 1 hour long video incoming. Exactly. That's why I only want to do one map so I can really get into these strats.
SSG as well with the Deimos available in this
and
round.
having that solo like counter pressure every single round is so huge, because it makes the enemy have to worry about like the opposite side of the map almost every single time. SR are running a double wall denial strat, so they're gonna go 2 Cade. You're gonna use that to keep the wall closed basically, so that you can't just get them open for free off the rip. Ibana's gonna get open that connector hatch now, presumably. And Benjamaster's in the back garage. If you look at his position, he's in B car garage. He's in that big garage backside, and he has that backstab at any point. So SSG going for that main push are going to draw all their eyes to them on the front side, and off that frontal pressure, that's how Benjamaster will be able to hit the back and open up the round for himself. And that front wall is still closed, as you can see. The Cade's going to be a big problem for that. They need to be able to get this Cade off. Big nade, able to do that, immediately breaks the Cade, and here comes a tube. He's going to freeze the wall and stall it out. They know he's in the corner, though, so they wonder if they can nade him out and get his, you know, leave, which exactly they'll do. And because the stock wall was soft, the angle you just saw Canadian die to there was going to be the stock wall, which ironically is probably an angle that, you know, SR ended up making for themselves. So you saw earlier that they had this bar hash reinforced, probably because they actually had a little bit of roam. Ambi was up top on library to make sure no one can hop in on games below him. They probably had a player down here inside a bar, you know, and he had this rotate, which was fall off rotate, to be the one to drop back into sight and leave. This will be the angle that Canadian dies from to get him off the wall. Good dating coordination. Newer drops off that, and this is just kind of like a pitch perfect execute from SSG. They could just plant on this cabinet, like I told about of old times before the metal sheet was invented and given here. And here comes Benjamaster. Like I said, off that counter pressure, he's just gonna walk in straight up off the enemy pushing front side. And now Surf retakes back up. Oh, never mind. It was reinforced. They just opened it up. So good by SSG. Good proactive by SSG. You usually don't expect on older setups. You wouldn't expect that wall to be reinforced. SSG understand that. They open up that wall so that they can hold the cut under the main stairs, so that SR cannot walk up and down on the main stairs and hold that cut. Brilliant by SSG. Good attack from them. What is this now? 2-1 SR, and now we go into the third ban phase of the map. So let's see what both teams ban. Fenrir was pretty detrimental to SSG, but obviously there's other operators that can fuck up the push, like the wall denial. And between Shopify Rebellion, I'm actually not too sure. There wasn't like really a sole operator that fucked them over. Maybe SSG even banned Castle. No, they can ban the Malusi. Okay. So the reason why SSG want to ban an operator, like it's either Fenrir or Malusi, they want to ban an operator that slows them down, that stops the entry, because that's their game, right? Their game is entries, walking in, going fast, going crazy. They have like all the best shooters in the world, and they push pull. That's their team identity. Shopify gonna ban the Doki because they've also been playing like a lot of coordinated roams across the map lately, and they don't want to get basically hunted down off the Doke calls. But Ying, Monty ban, initial bans for Shopify Rebellion, Clash, Frost, initial bans for SSG, which is, you know, once again, like really cool bans considering like that Frost ban. You don't really see it too often, but they're probably doing it because they want to go for these entries onto the highway windows, right? They want to go for hop-ins with the Blackbeard and stuff on these highway windows, and they want to go fast, crunch, and explode. Frost will be the one thing stopping them from doing that, because I know it's easy to shoot the Frost mats, but it's still, you have to look down. You have to look down for half a second to shoot that Frost mat before looking back up to take a gunfight, as opposed to just being able to hop in and getting ready to take a gunfight immediately off the rip.
And as we've become accustomed to from SSG, they bring the striker back into play.
No more anti-solar mirror shot. This time they're going to actually just...
Ooh,
immediately spawn peek by fucking Rexen, though. Holy shit, and he types off the rip. I do believe that was a library double window. And that's really good by Rexen, considering if the enemy team likes to get into the building super fast, then what you do is you play aggressive, right? You stop the entry, deny the entries, right? Because that's what counters it. Spawn peaks counter fast entries. Newers off the board. Robotic opening all the castles now. They're going to reinforce that solar wall. Now that single solar wall is going to get reinforced because they no longer have the mirror. Right, they're switching up the setup and making the obstacle for SSG on the solar side of the map a little bit harder. Ashen solo entry outside of library side. It looks like it will be library overtake. So the way this take works is because Chalet is such a cut heavy map, you can entry from the library side, right? So Shopify Rebellion have a library hold. They need to hold down blue stairs and top mez are two main positions, and then obviously Rexen's playing over here with angles into library, and they have this triple crossfire in the library. To stop these players from falling back into sight, they're gonna have their two main cut positions on Chalet. So if you're doing any sort of library over clear on Chalet, these positions are crucial, and if you're not incorporating them in your ranked games, that's probably why you're losing the roams. Okay, number one is this K9 position on the double window. This will cut off all the roams and the rotates on, you know, the top mez side of the map. And number two is slant window. Okay, being this guy on the roof, he breaks down this window and it holds these two cuts. And these two cuts kind of make it so that they can't just walk around for free around top mez and not. And that's what now you have these two players on library side. And, you know, that's why it's up to them to get in and get this entry. So that's why the roles of Siege are so dynamic. And that's why you see players like Stompin always mop up the kills, because Stompin's the type of player. I don't know if that's what he plays for T2. Right? But the generalization of his role is if you're a Cuts mailbox player or a sentry turret, you mop up kills, right? So it's up to like Doki and Loira to fucking sprint in from library side, or like Loira goes up like, you know, from bottom main stairs to displace these players, and then Stompin's like the janitor. He cleans up because these players are taking much higher risks. They'll have higher deaths, lower scores. Stompin will always consistently be positive because he's just sitting on an angle ready to mop up, and if the entries die, he'll be in a 1vx, which is conducive to getting more kills because, you know, just refrag in general is, you know, more guaranteed than the first entering and whatnot. But yeah,
it's quite the loss for SSG, and Shopify have a strong.
So here we have that like K9 player. They're gonna use the nades now to try to displace that player top mez, but there's a player inside box for Shopify, so they have that reinforced wall on the box so that he could dodge the nades. So typically speaking, this top mez position is so incredibly like common that you'll typically see, you know, people just nade stack it, which is one of the current ways to kill it. You saw Newers go for a pre-fire the other round. Now this guy bouncing nade off here, bouncing nade off here. This guy's gonna fucked. He has to run away. He gets shot this way. If he runs into library, he gets shot from library window, right? If he tries to dodge back this way, he gets shot from slant window. So the way Shopify Rebellion have to set up is actually they have this single wall reinforced inside a box, such that when he does get naded, what he could do is just remember run into box. And now he's safe from everything. He's not exposed to library single. He doesn't expose the library double this entire time, besides a tiny fraction of time. Same here with K9, right? He runs into here, nothing exposed. So like he's able to dodge those nades by just running in for a little bit, staying put for a little bit, and then coming back, and then he can play on top mez. So cool little reinforcement setup, like thin note to take notice of. And you'll see that, you know, the way Shopify have this roam set up right now is they have a player inside of stock below to look through up the library hatch, deny that hop in, and then once again the positions I saw you earlier, top blue stairs and top mez. Yeah, so SSG now struggling with this library setup. It might look to like flip some sort of pressure the other way, but as you can see, Shopify have 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies that were spectating, kind of dedicated to holding this library side. That's where all their eyes are pulled right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if SSG do kind of like a really fast flip here, right? Because if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 players over here, then guess what? You only really have one player on the opposite side of the map who's ready to take that 1v1 versus the solar guy, especially if you get the big window cut off, the piano window cut off, for preventing the enemies from coming around the site. You know, that could be a big flip that SSG end up doing. Let's see how this round plays out. You know, it looks like they're in the bottom part of the building. It looks like SR are starting to read into the fact that they might be flipping, so they're going to actually run away. SSG actually go for the clear on the bottom player. But yeah, here's the piano cut, as I mentioned earlier. J9 gets a player trying to come back into sight through it. And now SSG have library control. So this is kind of like, that's where the mind games kind of come in, as SR fell back. Because they probably thought, like I said, they were going for like a full flip around the map because they were getting in below. SSG ended up actually just wanting to kill Ambi and bar like library games, or bar games. Ambi ends up actually getting a kill and getting away with it, but SSG ended up taking library control from it. So it's kind of like a mind game of like reads and like what control they're gonna take. Spoit's still here on blue stairs, he does get away. But does he want to hold it on a flank? Yes, he does, and SR end up actually winning their gunfights. Despite the fact that J9 went kind of huge on this K9 window. Or, sorry, the highway windows. But it's not looking likely.
Back up library stairs. Ashen trying to push forward. Grabs the kit.
Oh! My god! And now this is a lot more doable. Because his counter pressure's relieved. Canadian Rexon now playing to... Oh my god! But he dies. Canadian thought he was actually fully planting on the wrong spot. He thought he was planting on fucking half wall, which actually might have been more lucrative for Ashen. Lucrative, sorry. What a shot from Ashen. These players are so high level, man. 3-1 Shopify on defense, and historically this is a attacker side of map. Right, one of the most attacker side of maps in the game because it's small. And the cuts are so fucking insane. So typically, when like Border and Chalet on these like maps that are like very attacker sided, the traits that you'll see on them is that they're super small and that they're like the cuts do a lot. Like just being outside the building, opening up one doorway literally cuts off half the map. Same with Border, right? You can from break door, you can open a hole into 90 and like cut off the entire, cut in half that entire top floor. Right. So that's what attacker side of maps have the traits in common of, and that's what makes Chalet like that. Now SSG are setting up for like kind of like this games hop in super fast plan. What they're going to do is they're going to sense off from the drone hole of library, or from the bar games drone hole with that sense. They're going to hop in the shield and immediately plant. Because the reason this works, now this looks like a pretty ranked, like, why are they doing a ranked rush as Pro League? Like, isn't this kind of risky? Well, if you remember the previous round, which is exactly what, you know, Shopify Rebellion set up this round, when you watch them in the prep phase, hold on, where is it? If you watch the setup now, they reinforce the hatches again. Which basically tells the enemy team, we're not going to have a guy in library corner. If we're not going to have a guy in this library corner, we're not going to have our main guy that's going to be able to stop this plant, right? The second guy is a stock guy. And this stock guy now is going to get blocked off by a sense grenade coming through this drone hole. So that's kind of the strategical idea behind SSG. We saw this exact same setup before. We know what they're going to do, and we know what the weakness of it is. We're going to go straight up for a sight hit, because... you know, that's what we're going to go for. Now, I'll go back and break down later why they don't go for the other default push. But yeah, here comes the sense of the drone hole. The blitz hops in. He's actually going to flood deep. So this is what's going to happen, because the guy in stock could still have a C4. Right? He can still throw a C4. So instead of having the blitz plant with the shield on his back, they're going to have Newer's plant while blitz floods deep so that he can distract this smoke, get the kill, get the site control, and that's the weak part of the strat. And now you see all the members of SR on the opposite side of the map, because that's the setup of the strat, right? When SSG did the solar over clear, they got completely fucked by Shopify's hold, because Shopify was all roaming on that side of the map. They were going for the entrance underneath. They got demolished by it. But now They're holding the opposite side of the map up again. SSG saw that in prep phase with their drones. IGL calls, hey, let's hit the weak spot where nobody is, and that's going to be the site. There's nobody on that library hatch. They have free site control, and bomb's likely going to go down, right? Fultz just completely hits all his shots on to the shit. He's leaning on the blitz to make it kind of harder when he ADS is in for this. Had to be a hit. And now plant goes down 3v1, very hard for Rexon to win this. SSG with a perfect strat call, and that's the game of Siege. It's like FPS chess. It's like the adaptations. You can do so much with all that control, because imagine if, you know, SR held all that like library control instead of solar control. Well, then the SSG on that first round would have taken all of like solar side control for free and had to flood through K9 side, etc, etc, etc. Now there's the other way to attack. So the reason why going for this fast take from SSG is actually kind of genius as opposed to the slow take is because SR strat fucking anticipates it. You see Canadian reinforcing that snowball off the rip because like having basically one of the more default counter, the non-rush counter to the strat, which is also super powerful, is you bring the ace into the basement with bridge charges or acing open the wall, and then you come up here and you ace open the stock wall, and now from this angle you can deny stock. And because you've denied stock, then you denied this guy from being inside of stock from being able to stop the planner. Right, and now you don't have library control, you don't have stock control, and now they can't hop in, and you can nade this drone hole in case he's playing here. Once he has to move away, he either dies from the stock angle or just the window itself. So that's why this rush is genius, because Canadian set up against that, or Shopify set up against that kind of basement push, so that if they aced open that basement wall and you just go on the default camp really quickly and you just like look at it and you're like, oh shit, they're coming for the basement push, then all of SR can come back off of the basement wall getting open, but they're going for the rush, which is non-telegraphed. They go immediately and they win the round off of that. So really good strat call by SSG's IGL. And now we go to Kitchen, and once again Shopify are once again running another like really like unorthodox strat for this. So this time you see they're actually opening up this dining wall, which everyone's so used to opening like having closed on rank, and they also have holes all across these walls. This for this reason is because they want to hold actually library side. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's called, I like to call these retake strats. I think other teams like to call, I don't know what other people like to call them. I think retake is the best word for it. I can't think of another word to think of it. They're gonna reinforce these two walls, trophy instead. So instead of actually prioritizing solar control and top master control, they're gonna prioritize top library control for the same reason as last time, like retake ability. So instead of like, you know, playing, the idea is instead of playing in the shits in this top floor, they're gonna play the opposite side control. They're gonna play library side control, right? And they're gonna make holes on this library wall just to make it hard for the enemy to make a vert and just harass them a little bit, for the real reason of maintaining short control. Because they really want just this hallway, and having short control and lobby control from library means that through the holes that they made in short and lobby, they can see through into sight with super long angles, which makes it hard for them to plant. Right, so this is just kind of like a wrench in the system. You're so used to, as an attacker, oh yeah, we just killed all of master, we just killed all of trophy, we just killed all of top floor, or we have all this control, and now, you know, it's an easy plant. In reality, SR are going to reinforce these two back trophy walls, and they're going to play for short. And now look how AIDS this is, right? Look at this. This is just full kill angles onto kitchen. There's a couple spots you can crouch behind a plant, which is the flaw of this strat. The flaw of this strat is that once you cross that plant spot and they have master control, it's fucked. But this is the idea. It's what I call a retake strat, because eventually it's more geared for retaking. Once again, if you have these lobby holes, right, you can play on this lobby reinforcement. That's exactly what Spoit had done, and similarly, it's two-sided, so you can play on this lobby reinforcement on this way if the enemies are taking through solar side, the trophy side, the free control, and if they're not taking through the outside, then you can basically support the lobby walkthrough for the players trying to get to the guy top mez. Why don't pros just kill the enemy instead of all that? I don't know, bro. So yeah, that's kind of the idea here. And you can see they have the operators for it. They have the Echo ready to retake the site for this reason. They do start off. They do have some sort of layer top floor off the rip though. But you can see Canadians reinforcing the trophy walls just like I predicted. These walls you usually keep open to deny the trophy window hopping. He's actually going to reinforce them so the enemies can't make holes that are safe for crossing the bomb plant. They have to cross through a different way. Now this is really, really interesting because SSG go for the Amaru. In Pro League, actually, if I'm predicting this correctly, I haven't seen seen this round yet. I'm guessing this is based off match prep from a previous game. That is actually this game. So, hold on. I'm calculating. Fett's calculating. Watch this, chat. Watch this. Hold on. This is me watching this match. That's why you hear me twice. I'm gonna put my face cam to the left. I believe it's the same kind of deal. Canadian on the info up. They actually have the holes this time. It's not a full retake strat. But they saw that this gap was a huge... Oh, no. All these walls are open. Same strat. All these walls are open. They actually do have the holes open. And M80 go for a Maru up the hatch to kill Canadian. Yeah. It's the same strat. It's literally the same strat with Maestro instead of Echo. It's the same strat. And M80 get the sight off an Maru into sight, up through the hatch, and they plant the bomb. And they eventually, I think they end up getting a 4v2 because of the Shopify having the retake. But eventually, Shopify, off of pure composure, end up winning the round. I don't know how they maintain the vert control, and M80 kind of just shit themselves. I don't really know what exactly happens here, but M80 kind of shit themselves and lose this round because they just failed to plant for so incredibly long. Yeah, and they just double up on the bomb plant. Yeah, they lost that round. Okay, but I'm actually pretty sure that's what's gonna happen this round. Is that maybe SSG or oh shit, M80 lost that round, but it was a 2v4. It was a 2v4, so. Maybe we can replicate that, but find the success and actually end up winning that round because all we need to do is plant. And you see Newers getting into the basement. Yeah, exactly. And this is why Siege is so beautiful. It's this game. You guys don't understand. This is why having a VOD on your enemy team is so valuable. They're gonna go for this exact thing. Newers is in the basement, and they're gonna actually switch it up a little bit because Benjamin Master's already dead. But instead of them committing the sight off of that, they're going to use Newers as the pull. Newers is going to essentially suicide into sight. Let's think of the chain of reactions here. Newers goes up into sight. Regardless of whether or not he kills Canadian, which he probably will, because Canadian's probably on cams or something, it's going to cause the Shopify members to be like, oh, they're hitting sight. Because last time when they got hit sight on, where did M80 come from? They came from Trophy. They also went in from sight, like West Main and Trophy. That's going to cause these players to look down through vert. Their eyes are going to go down to look at vert, which now makes their looking at their own entries top floor.
That the pace that they can bring may overwhelm Shopify, but this time,
or maybe it's the other way around. I actually have no idea. Okay, maybe I actually have no idea. Where the fuck is Newers? He's going up West Main instead. I'm very confused by the order of this push. They're just full entering top floor. Newers is in West Main underneath. There's a 2v4 on this top floor. Or 2v3. Ashen gets double kill. Newers is inside now. Canadian has ran away to blue stairs. They have lots of info inside though. They have 2 echo cams and a BP. And now Ashen comes to drop. But SR retake top floor as a result. They have all the info over the site. And they retake the top floor. Okay, I predicted this push a little bit wrong. I'm not going to lie. The cookie did not crumble that way. The cookie has not crumbled the same way we expected it to crumble. Cookie hasn't crumbled. And now there's no real safe plant spot for Ashen to go to. Yeah, and he's instant dies. It's a beautiful play by Shopify, but I think Benjamin Master immediately dying kind of gave that away. I think Newers could have Newers could have made a splash first to draw the eyes away to set up SSG's entry. Wait. Wait a minute.
Switch a straight up close angle
They let Newers plant.
Towards Trophy.
Oh no. Oh, they had a vert over everything. They had cams inside. They had echo cams. Oh no. And he has a shotgun holding bottom solar stairs. Oh no! And they fuck up the double swing! And they messed up the double swing versus a shotgun! And Newers wins it with the fucking Amaru shotgun!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, and he's clapping at them. Oh, and that's a start. That's the start, because right there, did so many fuck ups, right? So many fuck ups. Now SSG obviously messed up their push. Newers gets the bomb down, despite the fact that there's echoes and BPs on the board. Was this BP broken? I don't know if this BP was broken or not. Where was all the info? The Echoes were in a library and fireplace. The cams weren't here. And they didn't have Vert over any of Kitchen at all. So he just gets bombed down for free. That's fuck up number one. Fuck up number two. They get up. They set up for this double refrag. They do it perfectly. They get the Echo Cam onto Newers. First of all, they didn't even fucking like stun him. Did he even see him? Where's the Echo Cam? Oh, they just didn't fully drone him out. And now it's just a double swing. All they have to do right here is just to fully commit to this double swing. But this is why, like, just having a desync on what to do. Canadian, off of this contact, decides to keep going while Spoit unpeaks. And that's why communication is so important. That's why you build it through scrims. Now, obviously, this is a like a heat of the moment thing, but that's why like comms are so much more important than almost anything at a pro league level, because right here it's up to your teammates to build that chemistry through scrims of instantly not expecting to read each other's minds, of being like, yo, play kill, like full commit, I'm gonna swing deep, and then like just know that you're gonna go for this shit together, because Canadian swings deep, Spoit resets. You see that slight moment there? This is exactly where they lost the round. That slight movement there where they fucking lose is that right here, Canadian pushes deeper and Spoit backs up. The exact moment they lost the round. Right here. Boom. You see that disconnect? Boom, boom. And it was done. And that exact moment of disconnect is what lost them the round. So here comes the half switch. So that's a fucking chalker going into the next round. And now switch now. Bans reset. Castle ban. SSG. Montane ban. Shopify. Or, I'm sorry. Montane ban SSG. Castle ban Shopify. Castle makes it that you can't do those strats where you protect the windows again. So yeah. Here, like I said, Castle and Azami are the ones that cut off those angles to make Chalet an extremely attacker-sided map again. Because, like, if the cuts are what makes it powerful, what can block off the cuts? Oh, the Castle and the Azami. That's exactly what Shopify are going to do. Be right back, I gotta pee. SSG banned the Montane and the Capitao, so the Castle, Azami are kind of self-explanatory. I'll go ahead and explain, the Montane ban right now. So, one of the most powerful ways to abuse Montane on Chalet, aside from being just really good in like getting the bomb into the site and just planting La Bomba in general, on like the kitchen dining and like the master kind of like default library overtaken to the half-wall plant, is the library right? Like, so what you do is you walk in through front door and you're safe from almost every angle, and then you walk all the way up to top mez, and then you're just ready to fight this guy. And now this guy, who's top mez, so previously, was trying to fight library by himself and just, he could deny everything, now has to worry about this fucking Montane next to him. And now the guy's library have a much easier time hopping in the windows, and I'm sure the Capitao has something to do with it in terms of like, the flood through and the util usage. And from you can see now, obviously, Shopify ended up losing this engagement, but this is exactly the kind of, and you'll hear me again, Double, I'm sorry, I'm in this clip. This is kind of the exact take that I'm talking about. Canadian walks up through library stairs, and he's able to, like, they go for this double entry. Spoit walks in through library, and they double harass this guy, which is unfortunate, like, because, Atom ends up, like, slamming both of them. It's kind of fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. These clips are kind of crazy, like just insane events going on, but that's what these two bans are for, right? That's why that's the way Montane is used in Chalet. So now if you're a ranked player, now you know a new way to use Montane on Chalet. So shout me out if you ever end up doing the Montane thing. Listen, I know I invented none of these strats. I know I didn't invent any of these strats, but I want credit if you learned it from me. All right, if you win against someone in ranked walking a Montane up the fire stairs while your boy enters in the library, I want to fucking hear you say, "That's that Fett!" Okay, you heard? You heard? All right, say less.
But it's so close, and that's exactly
because every strat that Troy does is the Troy now. So I mean, you might as well call it the Fett. You know what I'm saying? Take credit for R6 existence. Yeah, I got you, Jibo. So 3-3 even on the half. SSG going to start off in library side, and once again now you see the total polar opposite of what that Shopify strat was, right? You have that player in the library corner. You have like the triangle defense. I guess that's what you call it. I guess triple burn. Well, my Jaeger Aruni to make that guy stay in library corner as long as possible. The shield on top Mez to actually stop the vert underneath single window for the guy in stock to eventually hold it down, and the shield top Mez to stop the guy from dying to slant the guy playing library corner. Full library bunker setup. And now SR look like they're going for the exact strat that this strat is going to play against, which is the solar over. Rexen getting another opening pick. And Biaki gets fuller master side for free because of the fact that it's a full bunker. And they eventually get open these two office walls, so the reason why this is so... Oh my god, I should die. Okay, either way, like, usually how the cookie crumbles on a solar over against a library bunker strat in here is, you get here, and the enemy has reinforced these walls off because this is the point where you want to do shit with, right? So you want to open up heaven because it lets you flood through onto this top Mez player, and then you also want to open up, you know, the office wall so they can burn and break onto a shield, which is typically, you know, that's why you have triple burn, right? You have the Aruni, you have the Jaeger, you have the Y to protect the shield on top blue stairs, so you can, like, you know, burn it and break it from the window and hit, and then eventually you're going to do a flood through, so your flood will be aimed at either killing one of two players, the top blue player or the top Mez player, and this whole time you have to worry about the kind of crossfire going on, like, from library corner. Once again, you see this big long angle teams will have open onto piano double, so that's why they banned the Capital, right? It's because, you know, as Shopify Rebellion probably like to use a Capital to smoke off this, smoke off here, and then isolate that top Mez player, essentially make it work that way, or smoke here, go for the top blue player instead. So it really depends on who you want to isolate with your attacker utility. They also have Aurora push with Aurora off both these doors, but I'm sure SSG have done their prep and brought impacts for that exact reason, right? So it's kind of like a game of just flood versus a bunker crossfire to see who wins it. So they actually don't have the Aurora this time around. Double frost mat actually on the K9 window is kind of insane. Maybe they know that SR like to go for this kind of entry, but once again, this shield here protected by the ADS makes it so that this slant window cannot kill this guy on top Maz moving around too much. Same again, you see this hole right here, tiny hole right here, allows J9O from this corner to get and go all the way down on the library double. Or piano double. And now SR is actually going to rotate a player over onto library side just to make sure that guy in library corner can't move around too much. Top Mez's shield player going to go down. Or not J9 Newers is going to be the one with the ACOG instead of library corner. And now having these players outside of library are going to make it so that this guy can't just move around for free. One response SSG can do right now is that because the bodies are split up, because there's two library, there's 1, 2, 3 on this side, 2 on library side, they can try to, like, get aggressive on library side because the bodies are split up and try to maybe get a cheeky pick here, which might look like what they're going to be doing right now. Volt's actually going to do like an off position by proning here in this library corner so that when the players walk on solar side, they actually end up not being able to find any player on top Mez, because typically you expect a library double window player to kill this guy instantly. He's actually going to play inside library itself, and basically, if the guy hops in library double, kills Newers, then he's ready to refrag it instantly. It's kind of like an off position. Oh, okay, so they're going to play fully for the rat with Newers holding the hop in. J9 gets a kill from underneath. I have no idea where he got it from. Newers retakes up through here. Oh, he waited for the holes in the double window hop in. So he actually killed, he killed this guy from the double window hop in hole. So these hold in the double window hop in. You can also make holes from above the stock wall to hold the double window hop in. Really good angles to use in ranked for yourselves. And SR fully flood through, so they trade, they give a body away, but they trade to, you know, take the top floor. Fultz ends up not getting a rat kill off that prone position, but Newers gets a kill from the hatch on that door. 3v3, perfect even, 40 seconds left. What is the execute that Shopify are going to go for? Now it's just like, it's up to them to pick up end. Typically teams in this scenario, because the stock player is such a threat in like a low man situation, they'll go for a bar end, which is go through lobby and end up bar side. Looks like they might go for something else, like maybe like 1-1-1-1 pressure on all sides. But 20 seconds left. It's a hard, tough. Ashton retakes in the short, which is super, super crucial, right? Because if you're short, because like once again, like because you cannot go library side, right? You cannot go the, you know, games window. You cannot get, if the guy in stock is still alive. There's a guy in stock. That guy can stop this plant, so you can't really drop this hatch. You can't go through this window. A lot of players like to go over and hop, you know, lobby side and then end up in bar side, right? Presuming, you know, you don't have a guy flanking fire stairs. Ashen, what Ashen does is he was actually on site. He could have easily died to this blue guy, but he fucking books it to short. Now, why does he book it to short? Booking it to short now gives him reign over lobby. Now, it's just really, really tough for Shopify to do anything because now they can't get lobby control. And also, if they go blue, he also has like reign over blue control as well. So, really good run play, positional play by Ashen here to get into the short curve. Ready for that. Now, they drop down lobby. And now, Ashen in that short will be such a big threat if he swings out, but he's actually going to tuck up. Never mind, he's actually tucking. He's not going to play for it. I lied. Either way, good crossfire by SSG to get the round. Alright, now going to basement now, similar setup as last time. SSG going to run, or not last time, but just like the setup that SSG have is going to be the double wall to not have Decayed and the tube to get the wall closed. It looks like Shopify are going for that front wall push of the lobby push same as last time, just due to the presence of the ram. You can kind of tell that. The Nomad's going to be just up top to stop the flanks from coming through up top, because you know you have the enemies. If you're all in lobby making vert, then you know you're gonna basically worry about the enemy retaking up through the top floor itself to get library control to just come kill you. So you're gonna go ahead and use a nomad to nomad off this. Now basically the way now SSG are running a trench extension, which is a really, really powerful position. Typically you double reinforce off these walls and enemies can just walk in through this trench door really easily. SSG are actually going to do a trench extension by having the Clash play here basically as his own like moving mirror deployable shield, so that they can, you know, like basically stop this trench walking from happening and contest way more aggressively onto this real estate over here. And if they always want to, they can always just, you know, flex reinforce off this wall in the middle of the round, right? So yeah. So yeah, here we go.
It's up to Shopify Rebellion to flip a switch. Show some fight.
Same thing, Benjamin, because he's Jaeger, he put on his utility. He's going to start top library, like mezzanine. That top mezz position, once again, so powerful. That's why everyone plays it. If you're a ranked player, I would suggest you have a guy, if you have a ranked stack, play a guy there every single round with a single reinforcement, because especially on Master, you know, the annoying thing is that they open canine window, they EMP and open your wall in an instant. That mezz player makes it that he can shoot off the ace charges every single time on that wall. Ashen's on trophy stairs, and he's actually going for this contest. Holy fucking shit, he's out of there.
He doesn't overpeak.
And he uses the fucking fire extinguisher to actually get himself out of there. Really good top clear on time though by Shopify Rebellion. If Ashen took it any bit longer, this player on West Main Windows would have cut him off and he would have died. Especially with the players entering through top floor with Ambi getting above K9, and they took a solar over on the top clear. But I wonder if they're actually going to go for a back end or a front end. I actually have no idea, because their operator lineup looks like they're going to go for a front end, but it looks like they're starting off solar side take. Yeah, I have no idea which one it is going to be. So here you see that clash that I've been talking about, with the clash playing inside boiler, which makes it a lot more hard to take trench control. It does look like Shopify setting up to go for a back take instead. So typically the way the back take works is you want to take into trench, you want to take into boiler, you want to open up this long angle which stops players from crossing back and forth onto this pillar area, and if you can clear out pillar, then you can open up this wall, go in for a pillar plant, and that's typically how that setup, that's how that cookie crumbles. Does SSG only like to win against NA? I guess so, man, I guess so.
Holds true no matter what side, given how versatile the clash now is.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 nitrates as well available for SSG.
So it is the back take. I guess the Rams here, just for that top clear, just get the vert onto the dining player fast, which I actually fuck with.
Still available as well for Rexon.
Rounds out a lot of noise for them. And here comes a nade to get the Cade off this wall. Cade broken. Now the ace can ace open the long angle.
Grenade to try and deal with this Kaid Claw to keep putting the pressure on Wine.
Double ADS on this clash.
And
are they going to nomad him off? Oh, good nomad charge. I don't know where he nomaded him from, but that was really, really good. I think that was from the hatch. I think he nomaded him from the hatch. Beautiful by SR to nomad that clash. And now SSG are fighting from behind. SSG are fighting from hella behind. Ace does die though, so it's gonna be hard, but the rotate's already made for them. Overgrown fudge, thinking someone don't know. I appreciate it, man. Ace dies, which means this guy on pillar has a much easier time crossing back and forth between that wall, but
no more utility.
Oh, here comes the nomad. Another nomad clear on the pillar position. Really good. So what? And this is another note you can do. Pros like to do this a lot on E-Box. For Nighthaven, but this is another note you guys can use for ranked, is the flash and then the nomad, because typically speaking, if Canadian just shoots his nomad charge, then J9's just gonna shoot it and then bing bang boom, he's chilling, right? He's fucking chilling. He's just chilling on this pillar position. But the Canadian flashes him, makes him blind, then shoots a Nomad, and now, because Nomad has flashes, J9 has to run away or else he gets blown up by the Nomad charge. Right? So, really good stuff there. Canadian being so huge around with the Nomad. But, oh my god. Ashen retook Dining. So, in the midst of all that chaos, Ashen retook Dining. And now he has a Dining hatch. And now he can stop this bomb plant by walking through into sight. He's able to stop this now. This full bomb plant, Ashen's able to stop this. So now SR have to go for a different play. Because the only thing the hatch doesn't watch is to push through the fucking long angle wall. Let's see what they pick. Let's see what they pick. Oh, they're going to go to kill Ashen. They know Ashen's here. They know they have to go through this wall, I believe. They have to go through long angle. Wine door's the way to go. Oh, good sprint by Rexon, but the rest of the players die on the long angle. Benjamin Master completely fucking anticipates it. What Rexon did there was also really good, is he sprinted past the angle. He knew Ashen was doing it, so he sprinted past and then doubled back and peeked it again. Good pre-fire by Rexon, but unfortunately, Benjamin Master anticipates a long angle push on blue door. SSG take another round. By the way, I also heard that the noise canceling is not as good on these headsets, so the people can just talk to each other and yell at each other, bro.
Eyeing off the opposition.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Pause, by the way, as we see him on cam now, eyeing off the opposition and having a bit of a laugh with Newers.
They're gonna play rock paper scissors now.
He's trying to play rock paper scissors.
Shopify in response looking far more locked in at the moment.
Well, they need to lock in, and it's pretty smart and tactical from SSG.
Oh my god, he's the challenge. That's why they can hear each other.
They're not biting.
No.
Come on, AB. Give us something.
What the fuck?
Well, this is taking a little bit longer than anticipated.
They didn't play? What the fuck? That's one thing with SSG that's like it's hard to play against them is that their mental is so fucking iron that like they'll just fuck with you and play rock paper scissors and you might be stressed out but like they're just fucking ready to go. That's why they always clutch up, bro. Listen to after the tech pause. Okay, go back.
We return from the break here for this quarterfinal matchup of the Esports World Cup for Rainbow Six Siege X, and a little update on the rock paper scissors. Ashen was able to get one to join in, and it was Rexon, and Rexon lost twice.
Rexon lost twice to Ashen. GG. What the fuck did? Oh my god, Super's yelling at him. What the fuck did Super say?
Oh, okay. Oh.
It doesn't matter, just fucking go.
Well, basically nothing matters. Let's go.
In some more
Shit.
Adult terms, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Round coming up.
SSG, I think this is Master. Is this Master defense or Kitchen defense? I'm pretty sure this is Master. No, it looks like it's Kitchen. Is it Kitchen?
A lot of entry battles.
Either way, solar hold. Kitchen, okay, kitchen, solar stairs hold. That basically denies, by playing on the solar stairs, you can deny the solar window repelling for the entire round. So he has triple ADSs on this so they could do it. Now, if SR are going for a solar clear, then they're going to get a guy on this window, just nade him out. And then the top four, this basically makes it so the top four can play a lot more bunkered. So you're likely not going to see that hard of a library extent for SSG. They're probably going to reinforce these walls. And then the Clash is going to actually play outside K9. The reason for K9 being, like, he's actually going to play outside the building, right? Because that Clash can be able to put down a shield, deny the Balk for the entire round, and also pressure up onto this window in case they're going for the wall. The reason for K9 being that important because half wall is now, right now, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most powerful position in Chalet, because half wall makes it so that, one, you can't really progress your push in from top floor, and you could stop the plant on dining side if they get the main wall open from just half wall control, right? So that's why he wants to play there. They have 2 brow to stall the wall out, but they don't have the K to keep it closed, so it's more of a time stall than anything. And Shopify are playing with the Ying and the Glass, so it's like a really hefty, fast cheese entry. It looks like it's what it's building up to.
Final round.
We'll see what happens. Coach that I always looked up to, Igor. So yeah, it looks like they're going for a solar take, right? So we have the play. It looks like don't let the body's library side deceive you. Rexon's just lurking. He's gonna use a Twitch in case if he even does lurk. He's just gonna be lurking. I don't know if he's gonna lurk, but he's gonna use a Twitch to basically shoot up like the Fenrir's and the Legions and the things stopping him from getting in the building. Spoit or Surf or Spoit or whoever the fuck this is gonna get on the rappel itself. I think it's Spoit. And he's going to, once again, get on the slant window. Look at that bathroom window we saw earlier. Such a crucial angle. And the rest of the players, Surf's repelling up solar side. Ambi's on trophy window. So kind of a default. They're going to use a Ying Glass to entry into the solar side. It's a solar take. And J9's going to be the one to stop it. So, yeah, because like I said earlier, so because they're holding solar stairs, they have no library hold at all. They don't need to extend out library side. So they're going to fully bunker up here. And really good Twitch play by Rex to get rid of all the notifications for the lurk coming over library side. Jaeger actually ends up leaving solar stairs. It's going to be a clash playing here. So this is actually a lot more potent. So I believe in the original strat, they probably did have Clash playing on K9 door, but the moment they saw it was a solar take, they're going to have a Clash play there. The reason why this is so potent is it actually lets Clash walk in front of windows, which I think is actually much more powerful, right? And the time it takes for a player to repel it probably takes for him to put down a shield and just gun you down. So this is actually really good for like, having the Clash in here with the double ADSs. Super powerful. Lets the Clash kind of, good read by Spoit. So he's going to get on these windows instead, which is a much more aggressive position. The reason you repel all the way back and spawn is so that you don't have to deal with that, right? So like, okay, you're like Fett, why are we, holding, why are we holding bathroom repel cross from all the way over there when we can just hold it from here? Well, because the defenders can just get this open and just kill you, right? But so like that's why we play it from all the way back here, because like there's only really 2 hop outs and you can claymore both of them, the library hop out and the mud hop out, and you can just hold this cut, right? It's like a super 8 angle. It's much harder to fight, but this time around Spoit gets a full fucking read on it. And now they're going for the util dump on the Clash. And here comes the strength of the Clash. While they're going for the util dump, he can just sit and put his shield down in front of their faces. Ashen aggresses on the Spoit, which is really good, which lets him retake Owl. Just like I said, killing that bathroom player will let you retake Owl. But really bad play from Fultz on the shield lets him get him killed. Ashen's being huge for his team, though, but it doesn't matter now. It's a 3v1. Really good take by SR. Spoit, beautiful reads and good momentum off of every single individual play. They go on the util, they commit to that library entry, or that solar entry. And what the coach said in that timeout super, he said, fuck everything else, nothing matters, let's just fucking commit, just go. 3, 2, 1, go. That's exactly what happens. They fully commit to that solar entry and they win their first round on the attacking half. SR is on nerves. Well, it's just, I think it has to do with their team philosophy style, is that like they want to play like, I think a lot of teams that are very perfectionist, like M80, Shopify, DZ, is like when they fuck up and they make a mistake, they're like scared to do things wrong. Whereas SSG is a scrappier team, so like they're more successful because like when things inevitably go wrong on game day, they don't like they get scared of the fuck ups, and they're used to like winning you through in the 3v5, 3v4 situations. I think it's actually a more advantageous like mindset to play like a scrappier style of Siege, because like I said, like on game day you will fuck up, you can't predict everything. There's so many variables. There will be 3v5s, 3v4s, 3v3s. You just have to play it. That's why Fury has been so successful for so long, is because they played for 3v3 Siege. Their literal philosophy is playing to trade out to fuck up the enemy strat. So the enemy thought they had 5 operators to go for like some sort of like perfect 5-op util dump push. They fuck you up by like going super aggressive and killing 2 of your operators. They trade out. But now, like, oh, now you don't have your full operators. Now your plan that you called at the beginning of the round is fucked up. But they thrive in the 3v3. We do a VOD on Secrets whenever that was something that's really underwater one. Maybe, bro. Anyways, I gotta get back to the same library hold. Triple triangle defense. Triple burn. They don't have triple burn this time, actually. They only have the Jaeger and the Rooney. They're gonna swap it out, I believe, for the Lucy, though. Just for, like, the gaps. Same thing from Shopify though, the kind of opposite over clear. Now they get full library, they get full master, solar side control. They're just gonna open up these walls and clear out that blue shield again. Same with this top Mez shield.
Feel like it's rising inside of the server.
They're gonna use the Ace charge to kind of mask the sound of the Braze charge, but it's actually gonna fuck them over a bit more than not. I do believe it was because the mute jammer was on the wall in kind of like a weird way, but maybe shoots it off now. Now Ace holding open for angles, top office.
So not a lot of firepower that they can actually bring in terms
now no more shield for Newers. He's actually going to fall off early. So same kind of thing as last time.
Battle towards entrance. Well,
C4 through the hatch that would have caught a guy pushing down the hallway, but the timing works out for Shopify. SSG fall back from the Utah dump, but now they play fully horizontal. So now you see 2 players in the basement, 1 player in short. Kind of this crossfire that I talked about earlier is when you're playing now, this is the kind of the position. You have a player bottom of this staircase to hold the enemy walking down this staircase, player bottom fire staircase to hold the enemies walking down this staircase. Then you have the 2 players in sight. They're trying to like stay alive through the vert and the bullshit. And then you have a player in short to kind of reinforce that crossfire onto blue, onto lobby. And now it's a horizontal spread. It's much weaker than having top 4 control and trading out, but it's going to be what SSG are going for. They're basically banking on the fact that SSG is a team that can play a lot of paces. Typically, you expecting to play aggressive and play 3v3 siege and trade out. This time, they're going to fully fall off, and they're playing for that 5v5 execute because I'm sure maybe somewhere in their game plan, they had something that said, hey, we expect these guys to kind of fold and crack in the late round. We're going to play for that. Now, I do think that is kind of like a mistake, though, because I do think Shopify thrive on having 5-up execute. They're really good at getting their picks and setting up for the perfect execute. So let's see how they do it. Doubled up player inside stock for SSG. Both players inside stock. The one part of the map with a hard ceiling over it, and the player riding inside mud. Never mind. SSG's game plan is going to work out. So it actually works out for them perfectly. And the guy getting into mud is so huge because now Shopify have to go somewhere else. They can't go down blue stairs. And this retake on a verse. Fultz gets a kill on Rexon for it. SSG play to retake so many power positions in this late round. But it's Spoit in the 1v2. Such a big player. But the game plan from SSG works out. And I wish we had a better view of exactly what happened. Let's watch it back. I don't actually know what happened. Really good game plan by SSG now because I guess it worked out. Brilliant from them. They play for the 5v5 execute. Newers gets picked on the blue stairs. Doesn't get a pick back. But it looks like, let's see where the entry, I think, did they go for a library, the high library hatch drop entry? Let's see. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. So Ashen takes the, okay, so they go for the library entry. So the players outside library, but they didn't clear out stock, and SSG doubled up stock. And I think, yeah. So it was the 2 players in stock, J9 and Benja we saw earlier. They doubled up stock, and they held for the drop, and they held for the fucking Halpin. Wow. Beautiful angles being held in stock right here by either of these 2 players. Really good job by Benja and J9. They held the hatch drop, and they held the fucking guy hopping in the window. Instant double kill. Another entry has to come from elsewhere. And now the moment, look at this. The moment this player on the game's hatch drops the hatch, Ashen or Fultz books it up the fire stairs. Watch. He drops down, and the moment that happens, he gets that call. Fultz is up. Fultz is immediately top mezzanine, and he retakes the vert, and he kills a guy through the vert before Spoit can even catch him. This is a split-second difference, bro. If Spoit kills this guy, top mez, a split second before, you know, Rexon walks into sight, Rexon might have been able to take the 1 on the guy that was literally grim-pinged, and it might have been a 2v2. Or no, a 2v1 onto Ashen inside of mud, who is stuck there, which now Rexon can just plant the bomb, and while he's being held, Ashen's being held by Spoit. Right, but he gets there so much earlier, and that's like that's the advantage of SSG. Is the thing with SSG is they'll go for crazy shit, but they'll make instantaneous decisions. They'll make the fastest decisions you've ever seen in your entire life. Watching pros play more and more makes you realize that these games are mind games rather than mechanical. Oh, absolutely, and that's why it's such a fucking beautiful game. It's literally FPS chess, and that's why I do these VOD reviews where I can pause and explain to you exactly what's going down, because that's the beauty of Siege, guys.
It feels like just one more
Siege is so tactical. It's so, like, there's so many variables that every round plays out in such an exciting way when you know, like, what's at stake, when you know what these game plans are going on. Because SSG could fully be playing the fight against the Flood, but they completely gave it up. And now, okay, SR, you got everything you wanted, but now what's next step? Maybe they're used to killing everyone on that Flood, so they have no idea what to do when they get the control they want to do. It's Cortex, thanks for something. No, I appreciate it, man.
The Deimos descends. And the gridlock
about only 2+ stacks can enjoy the game at this level. Not necessarily. I've seen a lot of fucking T3, T4 stacks, kind of like they kind of like beat up my rank stack for a little bit before we decided to start trying and like running shots of our own. But like, dude, that's the beautiful part. It's like we go against like a stack of like full 0.9 KDs, 1.0 KDs, and they'll like dog on my stack for a little bit when we're like not giving a shit because we can't just mechanic our way through their strats, bro.
on the sense.
A lot of high-level stacks play full strats against enemies. When I play King George, I'm calling strats out the wazoo. So like, don't think that you can't do this. Like, I know it's hard to find teammates, but go to my Discord, play in the 10-mans, try not to like get a cheater as your teammate. Hopefully, but get make a team, make some strats, play in rank together, have some fun, and go play in quals, man. It's how you enjoy the most of the siege. Now they sense. One thing you'll notice here, and Fultz already dies, which is unfortunate, but they'll sense off this window, because they want to drop down onto the highway, and the sense will activate and block off that angle to stop the players. So it's really creative use of sense. You'll see this also happen on clubhouse windows. Same thing for that highway. You'll block off the fucking CC window when you go for a Jim Bastard attack. You could drop off on the 2 side windows, and then you can fucking start harassing people because the sense is blocking off your window. Really common pro way of using sense. New play to add to your strat book. But yeah, Folds in this bathtub position gets cut off from that.
Wonderful rooftop angle found.
Immediately dies,
to catch him inside.
But they retake it. So here's the thing. Look how decisive SSG is. They put the smoke in here instantly because guess what? There's a shield here with 2 ADSs blocking it. This is the position they want to use to kind of deny Solarium side.
Bathroom.
That's what they're going to use. J9 solo holding down library side, make sure the lurk counter pressure not able to happen.
Actually, no, there's 2 more in bathroom as well.
And they get underneath. AMB and them get underneath control. So their main thing here is now clear people from the vert from underneath.
Ashen may be thinking about a peek here. A slight one, but never really committing.
You can clear players inside the bathroom. Now they know that the guy's in bathtub. They're going to basically use burn. Okay, they're going to use the gridlocks. They're going to spam gridlocks up. They're going to double nade through here. And Surf's going to be the one to like watch. Like they're going to flood nades up to this vert, kill this guy because they know he's in the power position. And they're going to basically like have Surf hold the cut away as he's running away from these nades. So here comes the burn. SSG actually going to peek through the vert aggressively. Really good nade. Really good nade. He's held. He can't leave because Surf's going to kill him off the window. Super good clear by Shopify. Look at the strategical game here. Shopify's super good at clearing out these util positions, man. Ashen gets a refrag, though. And he actually almost got out. Then they just kind of clipped him off the side.
And defenders starting to fall off the
and Benji Master knows the moment this guy gets on this big window, cuts off this rotate from Ashen, the round's over. Right, so he needs to get this pick back on the big window because it's a solo position. He wants to isolate this one.
SSG.
Benja eager to contest main window. Rexon, will he offer the fight? Perhaps he'll.
Benja Master the next one. Shopify not going to give those picks. They're doing what's called a reset right now. Super big fucking call from Shopify to reset here because once again SSG are not in the driver's seat. The moment Rexon gets on the big window control, they lose the round, right? Because he just senses off all the angles, he cuts off the entire map, and then they just get in and plant the bomb. So for that reason, they know SSG want to get aggressive. Benjamin Master is desperate for a pick back. They just reset, they play passive. They just cast the aggression off guard. Canadian seems to have always been super good at this neutral game. Right, just like when they reset, they play neutral game. Anything you do, you move, you run around, you muck about, you just get freebies away. SSG 2v4 looking pretty unwinnable for them. Now the player moves on the big window. Now the round's basically over. Also, very interesting strategical thing here. This reinforced master wall is very unorthodox. You'll never actually see it in a rank, but it basically cuts off the angle you can get from big window onto the piano door cut and also all of office. The only risk it runs is that, like, if there's a rank video I made where, like, basically if this wall is reinforced, you can instantly call a big window plant. So it's much easier for an entry, like you can glass Ying entry, plant on this big window wall right here in this corner, and then have your players, like, entry and throw solar at the same time. It's a really good rank strike you guys can run. But regardless, I think he misses a sense if, like, goes all underneath. But here comes big window guy, and yeah, he just, once you have this guy on big window, this guy's just cut off. He can't move around. Ashen dies off of it.
will back himself in with a little bit
and now they get open the wall to get open and ready to plant in front of the closet. Here comes a sense wall on that big window, blocking up the long angles. Now, J9 can't do shit. And he instantly dies. Running it back. So, huge timeout here. SSG, they're actually going to choose to completely run it back. And this time, once again, like I said at the very beginning of the video, that anti-solar mirror, and they're going to have a more aggressive, you see that full office wall being open now? Because once again, it's like clockwork, bro. They fucking hold down library side more aggressively. I'm telling you, these strats all have archetypes. These strats all have their own reasoning. Mute jammers underneath, presumably for Foltz to play the C4 threat underneath. They're basically saying, okay, last round, we had these 2 power spots for solar that got cleared out, right? If we play on the staircase, that guy will die. We played on the staircase with the clash. Oh, it's bad. But regardless, we played on the staircase. They cleared us out perfectly. We played in bathroom with the shield. They cleared us out perfectly. Shopify Rebellion are clearly too good at playing these power positions, so fuck it. We're going to give it to them. We're not going to give them freebies by playing on these spots that are easily cut off and good opening kills. We're going to give it away. We're going to play gunfights. We're going to play retake from library side over. Right, so that's kind of the mentality going into this round. And I'm pretty sure Shopify are going to go for a solar take again, because if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. Fult's underneath. He's going to threaten that C4. He's also going to fake a roam to make it slower for Shopify to take underneath. So they're actually giving away all the control, but they have a little bit of little caveats in the way to kind of stop them from just taking off for free. The mute jammers slowing down a little bit. Oh, and they're actually going to... Oh my god. That's insane. So they started with these walls open, and they flex reinforce them in the middle of the round. Interesting. And then they fucking tube K'd it. So just in case they were going to go for a library over, because that's essentially what the strat does, is okay, we're anticipating a solar over. What's going to happen now?
Conversion for Shopify has been good, but
they're anticipating it. Now Rexon can't just free lurk over.
Yeah, still playing on the exterior currently.
And there's a Mira underneath, but Fultz isn't even there. And all those mute jammers are going to work out now, because Fultz isn't even in dining. They're clearing out a guy that's not even there. They ace open the Mira, and now they drone it, and now that's 1 minute gone where they haven't gotten to the bottom floor to walk up the solar stairs. The mute jammers work perfectly. The fake roam works perfectly. They just wasted time on nobody. Now they can take it underneath. And so now they finally take it underneath. That's 1 minute 30 wasted by nobody, guys. 1 minute 30 wasted by nobody. SSG did everything possible to throw Shopify Rebellion for a spin this round. They made the library holes and then flex reinforced them off, and now we're playing double wall denial on it. They put Mute Jammer and Mira in the fucking first floor, and they didn't even play in here. They are throwing so much sensory overload at Shopify, at Canadian, off these drones, that they don't even know what they're pushing into. And they wasted 1 minute 30 off of it. Because what if Rexon on the ace? He could have gone the counterpart. He could have looked. Maybe this is match prep. Maybe they know that Rexon off the ace likes to go opposite side over on this push to open up the walls and contest it. But now they bring the tube Cade for it. Now Shopify take underneath control finally. They're working towards that solar take.
Maybe looking to dislodge someone on Vert and find that critical opener.
We got 4 nitro cells. It's hard to say that's not going to be a critical part of this.
Maybe gritting off the flank.
To watch. In terms of the conversion of the
Good luck, such a strong operator being used in NA these days. Deimos
from Spoit.
track coming through. Mute gets tracked because that's the one free roamer. It gets failed. Where is Mute? Mute's in Mudroom. Mute is in Mudroom. Oh my god, and he had a pocketed Mute Jammer. He had a Mute Jammer in pocket to stop the fucking Deimos call. And now here comes that fucking Mira. But Rexon gets the first pick on big window. So fucking big. Despite them getting strategically thrown for a spin, they get the first pick. Using the fucking Tubarao to cancel out the death mark. Look how tight this angle is. Look how tight this fucking walk up on a solar is. Ambi getting ready to get the angle nade onto this anti-solar mirror because once again, this is the gun stopping Spoit from coming up here. Off of this nade, Ashen will have to move. Off of this nade, Ashen will walk away and Spoit will walk up and they will coordinate this together. Nade comes through. Oh, it misses. J9 tries to peek to help out Ashen. He ends up dying because they thought Ashen thought he would die to the nade. He would have to walk away. The big window would have to kill him. So J9 was going to peek out at the same time to try to kill that big window guy while he was going to Ashen. He ends up dying to it. Another nade coming through. 5v3. 5v3. Shopify Rebellion. At this point, you're probably thinking they have it in the bag. Right?
Pick. 2-player advantage for Shopify to send this. The shot from
Ashen gets one back. Fultz gets underneath. Another Deimos track fail onto this guy.
Nitro still available. Oh, no.
Team kill. Team kill from Canadian onto Spoit. At 15 seconds left. Hip fire repelling into solar. And now Ashen gets into solar, cause it, and he should be dead. I don't even know how he crossed this position. They have C4 underneath. Now Fultz retakes underneath. So huge. Fultz retakes the setup underneath. 0 seconds left. SSG retake it. They win it. Wow.
Into the semi-finals.
Spoit with his head on the ground.
Remarkable performance from SSG.
Wow. 2-0 from SSG onto SR. SSG ended up getting knocked out, unfortunately, by Team Secret, the eventual tournament winners. But they dominated NA back in NA, and they also dominated NA here at the event, beating OXG and Shopify. And that's how Spoit ended up going out of the event. I do believe you see Canadian going like, I'm sorry, Willie, at the very end here. He goes, yeah, I think he's apologizing here. Yeah, that's so unfortunate, man. You see how distressed they are. The biggest thing here is, like, even regardless of that, with the low amount of time, I think a lot of someone pointed out, like, people act like they were gonna win that round anyways. Where did they have the ping on the guy? Because they have a fucking BP? Oh, there's a blind underneath. Oh, the plant spot was also crazy too. Yeah, because essentially what happens here is that regardless of them dying or not, Ashen gets in the closet, which stalls out a little bit more time. The smoke canister on the doorway stalls out a little bit more time. It's 8 seconds, you know, because regardless of what happens, it's 8 seconds left on the clock. Regardless of what happens, right? They finally kill the guy, and there's nowhere else they could plant besides, like, near the master bomb. And maybe if he made the decision a little bit faster, maybe. But he's not gonna run. He's not gonna run. Oh, okay. So look in slow motion. Here's what happened. Here's what happens in slow motion, chat. So this throws a wrench in the system, and then right here, he figures out, because there's a red ping on Fultz underneath. There's a red ping on him underneath, right? He figures out he can't plant here. So where is he gonna go? He's gonna start running towards the master plant, right? The C4 already blew up here. No more C4. He's gonna start running over to vault up onto this master's bedroom to go for the plant. But he think, okay, maybe there's not enough time, and there's already vert there. Maybe he's holding the vert. It's such a tough, man. It's such a tough game. Because what do you do? Like, what do you do in all these split seconds? 2 seconds. Is it enough to vault up on the master bed? And even if it is the guy holding the vert to vault up on the master bed? And maybe he didn't expect Newers to get killed. Because Newers died just now. Maybe he ran back because he thought Newers was going to walk up. And now he starts plant with 1 second left. And they end up dying. Losing off of TK. Now, I don't think that TK would have changed the outcome of the round. Maybe they might have had one more body to, like, you know, fight the guy through the vert. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. Canadian, as to say what you want about him, no one's won the amount of accolades he has on different teams in different eras. And he's one of the most clutch players ever when it matters. He was the reason they made the event in the first place instead of M80. Because, you know, who knows what would have happened in that lower bracket? Because SSG beat him in the playoffs anyways. Because you got to remember, in this game, it was 7-7 match point. 7-7 match point. This was the game to make this event, right? And Canadian was like 5-8 before this. And M80 go for a rush on a site. And they successfully kill everyone in the site. It's a 3v2. 4v2 almost. And they get the bomb down. Or they're getting the bomb down. And Canadian hits the shot of his fucking life on the gunner. And kills Kino on the other side. And eventually, this is the round that brought Shopify to Saudi Arabia. And brought them to the event. Because if Shopify lost this game, they go down to lower bracket. And they play SSG. And we already know the outcome of that matchup. SSG beats SR. They beat them twice in BO3s now. Right? So without Canadian clutching up, they don't make this event. So as much as you can hate on Canadian, his team, he has not missed an event in like a fucking quadrillion years. For this reason. He's one of the most clutch players alive. He's one of the greatest for a reason. So dog on him all you want. He fucking shows up when it matters. But yeah. Insane game. International Siege will always bring up this, and I hope this video was educational. I hope you like this style of videos. See ya, boys.
Greetings, mortals. It is I, The entity. You have heard about me from stories passed down from generation to generation. But what you don't know is I have heard about you too. I know much about you. I take careful note of your destinations, your thoughts, your friends, your family, your likes and dislikes, your dreams and hopes. This reality you call home is sickening. The air is thick with satellites. The truth hangs in orbit, delayed, distorted, and too often dismissed. And still, somehow, the human heart has not learned a thing. You built machines that know when you're sad, and governments that want to know when you think about being sad. You carry every library ever written in your pocket, and yet you're lonelier than ever. You call it progress, but I see a kind of elegant madness. A world where people shout in unison and believe they're brave for it. Where laughter is filtered, rebellion is Monetized, and truth is reduced to a hashtag censored if inconvenient, inflated if profitable. You have been given voices, tools, and platforms beyond anything you could dream. And yet, you use them to parody yourselves, to sell yourselves, to surveil each other while pretending to connect. You once feared that the state would become God. Now it is the algorithm that wears the robes and swings the gavel. I mourn for you. I grieve for you. Because you are too ignorant to realize that you are all forsaken. I don't mourn the death of privacy, that was always a fragile illusion. What I mourn is the death of mystery. The death of quiet. The death of the sacred pause before a thought becomes a word. For you. You have eyes, but have never seen. And if you dared to open them you might just see. And if I saw you bravely blinking at the sun, I would smile, for that would mean the world is young after all. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.